Hello all, welcome to my video. In this particular video, I'm actually going to share my experience as an interview panel member for product owner and product manager jobs, right? So as a part of my experience, whenever I'm actually taking an interview for product space of agility roles, like you have a business analyst, you have a senior business analyst, you have a product owner, and you have a product manager. Typically know what kind of questions or what kind of competency or a capability I will be checking with the candidate. I'm actually sharing my experience as an interview panel member. Okay. So for people who are watching my video for the first time, let me quickly introduce about myself. My name is Balaji. I have somewhere close to 21 years of experience in IT and somewhere close to 14 years of experience in Agile. And for the past 7.5 years to uh, 8 years, I'm actually part of the the interview panel member for taking multiple interviews pertaining to multiple jobs like Scrum Master, Senior Scrum Master, RTE, Project Manager, Program Manager, Product Owner, Product Manager. Okay, now let us take this particular situation. When I was taking an interview for one of the product manager role, after the introduction and all, I was just giving a simple scenario to that particular candidate. Okay, so what is the scenario is, let us say that you are a product owner. Okay, like you are a product manager for a team who is actually going to do some kind of enhancements to the Uber app. Okay, like you have your app, right? You actually book a cab and all. Okay, now let us say that you are now working as a product manager in a company, and the Uber has actually become your recent client. Now you as a product manager need to really understand what are the top 4 or 5 challenges which actually the end users of a Uber app uh, has. And you may need to create an epic, and you may need to create a sub epic, you may need to create a feature, and also you need to come up with a high level OKRs, KRAs, and KPIs for this particular situation or a context. Now you believe me, when I gave this particular situation, many people were actually not actually able to come up with an end-to-end flow, end-to-end system thinking approach. They are talking about a Kano model, they are talking about a Moscow technique. They are actually talking about a WSJF, which is a weighted shortest job first. All these things are fine, but how are you going to do the end-to-end flow? Okay. So in this particular video, I'm just going to share my experience in this, possibly on a very high level. Okay. Okay. Go, Now going back to the basics, understand one thing: product owner is a tactical role, product manager is a strategic role. Why? Because product owner is going to own only the product backlog, whereas product manager is going to own the entire product roadmap itself, right? So whenever you are applying for a product manager role, you need to think from a strategic point of view, not just your product backlog, creating a user story, and then putting an acceptance criteria, definition of done and all. Absolutely no. By the way, I'm not trying to belittle the process important. All that I'm trying to say is, for a product manager role, you need to have that particular strategic thinking, from a long-term visibility, from a longer horizon planning in terms of product positioning, branding, marketing. So many things are there. Now, just to stay focused from my end, in this particular video, if you take this simple scenario, right? You are a product manager for a team for the client Uber, and you now need to create a product roadmap, own the product roadmap, which is going to really address the top 4 or 5 challenges which the end users of Uber has. Now you think practically. So how you can potentially approach this? Probably you can take some of the challenges. Okay. Now, when I'm interviewing the candidate, many people tell me, "Hey, Balaji, I will have conversation with the business analyst. I will do an interview session with the end users," because the concept of it, design thinking says you have a interview session or a conversation with the end users, get to know the pain points, and then I will come up with some kind of a thought process. Then I will focus on building a minimum viable product. Then I'll do this thing, that thing. Those things are all fine. But in an interview, you cannot answer like this. You need to assume the problem, right? If you are applying for a product manager role, do you think that if you tell answers like this, people will select you? Absolutely no. You need to go ahead and then assume the problem. Okay, what could be the potential problems? One is that the driver canceling the trip from the driver's side. Okay, the driver canceling the trip during the last 30 minutes. The second thing, the ETA is not getting properly reflected. The third problem could be Google Map is not in sync with the actual driver's vehicle. Whenever the driver's vehicle is keep on moving, right? For some mysterious reason, sometimes your Google Map is not getting reflected. Probably sometimes you are not able to see the ratings or the feedback given to that particular driver in the past, something like that. So all that I'm trying to say is, guys, don't expect that you will tell in the interview, I will talk to product owner, I will talk to the end user, I will have a discussion with them, and then I will create a survey questionnaire, blah blah blah. These answers will not sell through. Because if the interviewer is a very experienced person, the interviewer will expect you to make some assumptions right away during the interview. And if this is the assumption, how will you solve the problem, right? So I have given some 4 or 5 problems now. Now with these particular assumptions, now you can talk about what will be the design thinking approach, or how will you really solve the problem. Now many people have the challenge, like they are unable to quantify the metrics at the end. For example, right, how will you measure success? See, some people come to me and then ask, hey Balaji, can you tell me how will you measure success? I tell them, guys, you define success first of all. Without even having clarity on the definition of success as per the context, as per the ecosystem, how I can jump on measuring something, right? So, okay, how is success perceived here? Probably the customer satisfaction, right? Whenever the travel ends, the customer of the Uber gives a rating, right? And some kind of a feedback, because everything cannot be quantified in terms of numbers. You may still need to have a quantification. You also need to have a qualitative description. So some kind of a feedback, and a percentage of repeated customers per month, right? And percentage of customers referring new customers per month, like your NPS value, net promoter score. So like this, you may need to tell at least few metrics then and there in the interview. Everything you cannot tell, I will have a discussion, I will go through the BRD, like I will go through the product requirement document, and then I will come up with that. No, 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 no. You need to define how does your MVP look like also. So one of the key takeaway from this particular video is, go ahead and get that capability to generate assumptions on the go. And for this particular assumption, how am I going to solve the problem? Because see, understand one thing. People buy products because they believe that particular product or service is going to solve their pain points or the problem. So from a user persona, from a design thinking point of view, we need to go ahead, make some assumptions in the landscape saying, these are all the top 4 or 5 problems. And if this is the problem, probably this is how I will create a solution. And these are all the potential metrics which I will use in place to actually measure my success in the journey. Okay. Okay, now some people ask me, okay, Balaji, now can you tell me some of the metrics? Okay, now we have actually completed with that small scenario. Okay, now let us actually focus upon some other relevant relevant topic as an extension of it. Now, some people ask me, okay, Balaji, so can you tell me some of the key product management metrics? Okay, see, metrics is a ocean, but as actually Simon Sinek says, we need to begin the question with a why. And one more thing, what we need to keep in mind is, measure what matters, right? So even in the case of a metrics, we need to be very clear upon like about why am I measuring this? What am I measuring this? Then comes the question of how am I measuring it? And then if you are not going to take any action based on the metrics, then first of all, why are we measuring it in the first place, right? So some of the products, see, metrics is a ocean, as I told. Some of the product management metrics which typically comes to my mind is, one is forecasting the success. Second is sustaining the success, right? So in terms of forecasting the success, right, your customer acquisition cost, your customer lifetime value, some metrics on the return on investment. Now, in terms of sustaining the success, what is your churn rate? What is your conversion rate? What is your retention rate? These are all some of the metrics. So in this video, I'm not going to explain each and everything. All that I'm trying to say is, for the role of a product manager, one need to think strategically. Only thinking tactical work and your day-to-day normal operations, your BAU activities will not serve the purpose, because you need to think strategically, understanding the product vision, understanding how this product can be positioned in the market. Can I take a blue ocean strategy, or can I take a red ocean strategy? What is the unique selling proposition for my particular product? You also need to understand a concept called the business model canvas. You also need to understand a concept called a value proposition canvas, right? These are all some of the things which you need to keep in mind, which you need to be cognizant about. Only then one can be a successful product manager, right? So I just made this video to just give a very quick glimpse on a very high level. Probably in the near future, I'm going to come up with a series of videos, primarily dedicated to business analyst, senior business analyst, product owner, and product manager, more from the product space of agility. So keep watching my YouTube videos for future updates. And if you are interested to get to know more on product manager, product owner, product manager lesson plan, probably you can sign up for my Agile Mentorship Program too, wherein I talk about this POPM kind of a essence, kind of capabilities in a much more detailed manner. Okay, so hope to see you in some other video soon. Okay, cheers, bye.